Welcome to Behind the Brand, the podcast for small business owners, solopreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs who are ready to start strong, stand out, and stay bold. I'm Taylor.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Isabella, and we're part of the powerhouse team of marketers at Moxie Creative.
We're taking you behind the scenes to explore what it takes to build and grow a memorable brand.
Ready to get behind the brand? Let's dive in. Hello, Moxieverse. Welcome back to another episode of the Behind the Brand. I'm Taylor, and today I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Kelly and Isabella.
Hello.
Hi.
And as three client-facing individuals here at Moxie, we thought it was time to have an episode about the client experience. If you're like us, you may find yourself having some sort of dual role between sales, managing projects, managing a team, etc. And sometimes, especially when it comes to that sales part, we focus very hard on getting the sale, pitching the service, closing the deal, signing the contract. But what happens during that process and then after is just as important, if not more important. And what I'm talking about is the client experience. This is where the trust is built, where the reputations are formed, and where the eventually hopeful referrals are earned. For us, it's not just about delivering the work, it's about how we make the people that we work with feel. So they want to come back, so they want to continue working with us or refer people to work with us. In today's episode, we're gonna break all of that down and talk about what it really means about the client experience and how we approach it here at Moxie. It might not be the same as other places approach it, and if you're listening, you might hear a lot of similarities too. First things first, how important are first impressions?
I think they're everything. I think that we're judgmental people to a core. Like, this is how we are, human nature. And so how someone, unfortunately, maybe like dresses or how they say hi to you, we're going to have that like immediate first impression. But I think that over time then it can change. We can think that, oh, I was wrong about this person, I was wrong about that, and maybe turn it inwards and think, okay, maybe it's something to do with me. I think with businesses especially, it's so important to have a nice business card to hand out or like have a great client experience right away, because that's going to set the tone right away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically what you're saying is that the client experience starts from day one, right? So whether it's you've signed the contract and the first payment goes through, there's so many other little things that have led up to getting to that point. Kelly, from your standpoint, being the matriarch of Moxie, you know, I've learned from you, Isabella's learned from you. What do you feel like are things that you want to instill in us as, you know, outward facing people here at Moxie to give our clients the best experience from the very beginning?
Well, I have to giggle a little bit because you're talking about the client experience. I'm like, do we have one? Like, it's not real formally.
It's not formal.
No.
Yeah, but that's what makes our client experience so special.
We may be different than some other businesses or agencies that we're pretty casual here. And yes, our first impression will be that. I mean, we're not dressing in suits and heels to meet with clients. I mean, I just met with a client and I had my shoes off. And the clients that and maybe that's a poor first impression. It wasn't the first meeting, though.
Yeah.
She was a friend. But I think from the get-go, we're very genuine. And even in the sales process, hey, we can help you with this. If it doesn't work out, cool, that's fine. You know, so we're kind of like try to be somewhat low pressure, just very authentic and helpful from the beginning. So I think that doesn't change throughout the process. But our first impression isn't a visual, formal one of, you know, it's just not the clientele that we work with, and it's just not us. So I think what's very important for me and for all of us is to be authentic, helpful, responsive. And I know I'm annoying. Did you get back to that person? Did you get back to that person? Did you get back to that person? Because I do feel like that makes them feel important, not like you're going to call them back in a week. Thing. So
absolutely.
I think
I've had that happen so many times where people are like, wow, thanks for getting back to me right away. And typically that nudge, you know, you see those things come in, watch it like a hawk.
Right.
And, you know, you're like, reach out to this person. And if you call me within the hour and I haven't, you're like, did you reach out to them yet? Like, I will.
But I think that's important. And so someone just emailed me and said, hey, you know, are we going to go over this? I'm like, yep, absolutely. Just if you read the email, just respond right away.
Yeah.
Don't put it on your plate and, you know, do it later. I mean, sometimes we can't respond to emails right away. But if you can, you know, we have clients text us, right? I had a client move on Friday. And on Friday night, she's like, did you put when's the website going to be updated? I'm like, you know, you didn't send me the address. And so I'm trying to find their new address. And is the hours the same? And I'm texting Michael and he's doing it on the spot. We're just going to say, you didn't do this and you didn't do this, so then I didn't do that. We're just going to make it work.
Yeah,
And I was
right.
actually contacting somebody else at the business. This person's busy.
Yeah.
They're moving. And so I think we have some clients that just prefer to text us. And that's fine, even over a weekend or at night. Just being responsive, I think, goes a long way.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess is my point.
So my first kind of question, and maybe that is your answer to it. So Bella, I'll ask you, from your standpoint, having, you're kind of the newest one in this client experience realm, and you have previous work experience too. It's not just Moxie, but what do you feel like is that kind of one small thing that you do early on that makes a difference?
I feel like it's understanding them right away, like listening and like always starting everything with a smile. Like I want to make sure they feel like kind of like almost like it's like a friendship, And I even there was someone that I was in a group with, and they were talking about how, because they also do marketing, and I think she does it on her own, and she was talking about, working with me is different than working with, say, Moxie, because with Moxie they have more clients, and so you don't have as much of a personal relationship. But like that's not true. I have a very personal relationship, I think, with all of my clients.
Knives out.
Yeah, I know. And I kind of just
What did
sat
you
back
do?
and I just nodded and was like, whatever, because I don't need to prove that to you. Like, whatever, you think that's fine. I definitely feel like I have a very personal relationship for the most part with all my clients. I think my favorite thing is that a lot of my clients are like, oh, I'm your favorite client. And I'm like, I love that I can make, I would love to make all my clients feel that way, because genuinely, like, they're all my favorite for, like, different reasons. But, yeah, to be able to, like, make them feel special and important, I want to feel like I am, like, working for you, like, in your business.
Yeah, so that's a great point, and it comes very naturally to Isabella. Perhaps I have to work a little harder at it, but she's sweet and nice, and I'm joking, but is that we are really we're casual.
You're old and crotchety.
Yeah. Get off my
Don't
lawn.
talk to her.
But we are casual that way, and that style doesn't work for a lot of places aren't like that, but we are. We're very friendly, and people work with us because of kind of our whatever that you want to call it, our style, our casualness, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's our way. That's the Moxie way. Some people are very formal and sit down meetings and whatever. And we're texting addresses on Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm going to kind of meet you both in the middle. So, Bella, you talked about listening. Kelly, you talked about responsiveness. I think one of the things that it is our job as the client-facing figures here at Moxie is to also figure out what each particular client wants. I have some clients that really don't give a shit if I talk to them, every week. They want to check in here and there as the project is going. And I have some clients that every week I need to be updating them on where their project is at. Even if we didn't do anything on it this week, they just need to know that there's a plan. Yeah. So I think that's a really important piece when it comes to the client experience is not every client is going to need the same level of service. And I don't mean that some clients get thrown under the rug and forgotten about. That's not what I'm saying.
But communication.
Yeah. Every client.
Don't just text everyone.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Totally.
Don't
Yeah,
just text
definitely.
everyone. Yeah. And some people need to be called on the phone and because they don't answer their texts or they don't answer emails. It's just very different.
So meeting them where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Meeting them where they are. That's in a really good way.
Yeah, totally.
So one of the things that we keep saying here is that we are pretty casual. We we don't do anything fancy, but that clearly is what works for us and works for our clients. We aren't just slumming it with a couple of clients. We have a pretty big client list, and I think at the end of the day, there are a lot of clients out there that are not looking to be swooned. That doesn't mean that there aren't clients out there that do, and those are just not our people. What they really want is to have the confidence that they're working with the right team. So from your standpoint, Kelly, what are some ways that you feel like you help our clients feel very confident in our team and our ability?
I think just explaining the process to them and keeping up with the communications, letting them know where they are in the process, what to expect next. I think that goes a long way. As far as our qualifications, I think we talk about that in the proposal process. And I also just think that they get a sense of confidence from us as we speak and as we do it. And I think that goes a long way, that we understand what they need and how to help them, that we have the solutions.
One thing that I think you're really good at and that you've, instilled in us is to have confidence in ourselves and the services that we're, quote unquote, selling. Because a lot of times a client comes to us and they know they need to do marketing, but they have no idea what they need to do. Or B, and this happens quite a bit, they've worked with other agencies in the past or are currently working with an agency and they're just not having a great experience. And that is on us then to show up as our most authentic, confident selves to not sell any, I don't think we ever come across like to a sales lead.
No, I always think of it as helping.
Yeah. That's just not our approach, but that we can make whatever problem they're having, we can make it better. And that really does come, giving them that level of client experience comes from us being very confident in what we're doing. Because if we just showed up sheepish to every meeting,
right. Also, though, we're not too confident not to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we really are trying to explain to them. And I think people appreciate that too. We explain to them, like, we understand their issue or their problem, and this is how we're going to fix it, and this is how we're going to measure it. And if that doesn't work, we're going to adjust it. And I think they feel better about that.
Definitely. I feel like I'm always like, no matter what, it's like we're always going to find a solution to anything. And I feel like even for me, because obviously I've come into things a lot newer, and so I have to kind of have the confidence, because a lot of the times I'm working with someone, I'm doing something for the first time, but I'm not going to let them know that, because I'm very much, I've said it a million times, I'm just going to figure it out. As well, like, you got this, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm going to figure it out. That's just how my mindset is. So I think that if I didn't have like just like full confidence and just am like, okay, I'm going to figure this out and do it, our clients probably would be like, I don't know if I want to work with Isabella. Like, maybe she doesn't know what she's doing. So, yeah.
But it's not just Isabella. Isabella has a whole team behind her.
Right.
And I do think that's another thing that you talked about, the person doing it on their own. People appreciate the team. I mean, I think our team page is the most visited page on our website. People want to know who they're working with. And not that, the size of the agency matters so much, but I think that, that we do have a team behind us. And we have clients do that. Sometimes they'll talk to you. Sometimes, you're not in, they'll talk to you. You're not in, they'll talk to me. And that we all back each other up.
Yeah, I think that's a really important piece of what we do. I've met with so many current clients or potential clients, and they've worked with other agencies, or they're currently working with an agency, and they're like, I just don't have any idea who to talk to.
Yeah.
Right.
We never make our clients feel that way. You
Right.
know, I've been kind of the last couple weeks bouncing back on vacation, and so Kelly stepped in, Isabella stepped in. I have communicated with my clients, these are the people that you're going to be able to talk to. And then another thing, about our team is, yes, while the three of us are the most client facing, we have other team members, almost all of them.
We'll
now,
talk, yeah.
And have showed up on this podcast now, so listeners should know a little bit about who we're talking about, but they will come and talk with a client, and especially if we're talking about our branding process or we're doing a website with someone, we need them to
So I was
come and
thinking
talk
just
too.
last week you were on vacation. Isabella had a day of preparation, and I had a meeting, and a client needed something to be filmed at this time. Even though one of us couldn't have been there, I mean, Tyler and Mo went, they're project managers too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're great with people.
Yeah.
And they just full trust to the client knew who they were.
Yeah.
We're not like we hide them in the back too much. And so when people will ask, like, who do I work with? Who am I going to work with? Sometimes I think they want to know who their point of contact is. Sometimes they want a team.
Yeah.
So I tell them, I'll be your main point of contact, but, from time to time, other people will be coming in. And because the client was so comfortable with everybody, now they're working with Mo and Tyler.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
It's
right,
fine.
exactly.
We knew what's going on, and we followed
Yeah.
up. And
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept him informed throughout the whole process.
Exactly.
And
We
stuff.
can't be everywhere all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, kudos to you for building a good team that can work
Step
with
up
work
and
with
do
our
it,
clients when needed. So, okay, we've been propping us up and talking about all these really good ways that we work with our clients, but we are human. At the end of the day, we make mistakes. Sometimes clients get upset with us. Sometimes I maybe think that someone's doing something and they're not, and it's easy to point fingers, but then if I really close my eyes and think about it, it's usually my fault. But anyway, so we don't get things right all the time. There are going to be times that we have messed up. Kelly, calling on you just because you've been doing this longest, and we can all go around the circle and share maybe some places that we've faulted, but everything is a teachable moment, right? So what maybe is something that you've, you don't have to elaborate on the mistake, but just how you've, learned and changed things along the
I'm
way.
actually trying to think of a mistake, but
I am perfect.
yeah, no, I think most of the time it's a miscommunication somewhere. It doesn't happen too often, though. I have to imagine. Sometimes, if a client misunderstands the process or misunderstands the result, maybe that was on us, that we didn't explain it well enough. But let's say there's a real mistake, like a type or something that we did incorrectly. The first thing to do is just to fix it. Is to take your emotions out of it and fix it. I had my old boss used to say, "Cry later."
Sure.
Fix it now, cry later.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll tell you guys. Let's just fix it. Oh, well. And then when a client calls and goes, "Kelly, it's not on the website." Oh, yep. Oh, sorry. I thought it was, be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let me check on that for you.
Yeah.
And even if you don't have the answer right away.
Right. Yeah. Let me check
it.
on that for you. It goes really far.
And to be responsive, fix it. That's
Yeah.
all they care about.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They're not gonna
Right,
berate
they're-
you for
no.
the mix up. They just want it fixed right now.
Or, I'm sorry, that was scheduled for tomorrow. Do you need it today?
Yeah.
We'll do it right now. I just had a client call, said he wanted something on his website on the 15th. It's the 13th. And I'm like, great, we'll do it now. Okay, thanks. I didn't say, you told me to put it on
Right.
the 15th.
Yeah.
Just fix it.
Yeah.
So that's our first thing, right? And that's, we do go back and we interrupt to fix things. It can be. And so that goes a long way,
Yeah.
I think.
Our designers might get annoyed at us, but it's
Yeah.
one of the things that they just have to deal with.
Right.
They don't have to intercept the call from the client, so
Right.
they should be so thankful.
Yeah, I think if we have a good relationship with the client, I just don't remember anyone getting that angry with us. I think sometimes when people don't understand, I'm just thinking of a seasonal client who expected different results faster or something, even though we explained everything right, just wasn't happy in general. I don't think that
Yeah.
we actually made a mistake,
Yeah.
but that happens too. And then you just, it's not a great fit.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that I want to add to this, and this is a client that I have had I've worked with you now for 4 years. So for 4 years, and we've been doing everything the same exact way for 3.5 years. And all of a sudden we hit an inflection point where it was like, this isn't working anymore. And I remember I was getting so frustrated about it not working. And I had typed out so many emails that were like, I need you to do this and this and this. And I never sent any of them. I had to just take a step back and I was like, how can I change my process? Because sometimes we can't always ask that of our clients because we are the small fish to them. They have a whole sea of all these things happening and we're just one little fish in that sea. And so I can't ask them to change their whole process. They have to do what works for them and then I have to take that and make it work for me. And that's not always a comfortable place to be in,
Right.
but it's the reality of our situation. Being a outsourced marketing partner, we don't get to be involved on the day-to-day things all the time. We have to take what we can get and make it work. And that can be difficult. And, when it is in a place where it's like, this is taking me more time, I'm blowing scope, I feel like I'm failing, that's really hard. But you have to make things work because that's what the client expects. And happy to report, I eventually did make it work and all is right in the world again. But yeah, it's not always a easy spot.
So sometimes
to
you
be
have to
in.
change what you're
Yeah,
doing.
Right.
Should I talk about mine? Should I go to
Yeah,
mine?
of course you should.
Okay, I feel like mine's different because one, I haven't had as much experience. Two, I don't manage as many clients as Kelly or Taylor. But I do feel like it's interesting. I think the way that I treat relationships outside of work and in work is very similar. Like I feel like I said, I feel like I do have a relationship with all of my clients, and so I'm someone in my personal life where, like, if there's an issue and someone is not, you bring something up to someone and they're very defensive about it, they make excuses, they can't apologize, they can't own up to it, that's really frustrating for me. And so I've always been someone who is like, okay, you can come to me with an issue where we can notice something's wrong. And even if I see it differently, I'm still going to apologize for maybe the miscommunication or just like the way that things seem to have happened or maybe how they did happen. But I'm also going to then back up, kind of what's happening and how that is different also with here is like, say that there's an issue. Number one, I think my clients can tell that I care so much, so it's usually never anything like bad. They're usually just like very forgiving. I just apologize right away and I'm like, I'm sorry for this. But I have had like one experience where, like, you were kind of part of this too, Taylor, where we had a client that there was some things that happened, and the next time I saw them, we went and just like fully talked about it, and like I just fully apologized for miscommunication and all of those things. They were just like, this is just exactly what we wanted to hear. Like, this is why we love working with you. And
Don't avoid it.
and so
right?
like you just shouldn't
address
avoid it. If you exactly, that's that's the biggest thing. Don't avoid it. You need to address it because it's going to make it better. Because I have moments where I'm like, I don't want to talk to this client. What if they're upset at me? Because I'm always caring so much.
Yeah,
freaking out over my clients being mad at me.
Client that when they call me, I'm like,
yeah,
they're firing us.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, like one little thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the way that they said this in the email, like something's wrong. And so that's why I just want to address things immediately right
and
away.
if you have a good relationship with it, they forgive you. It's just, we're human, you know.
Yeah.
But if you were, you know, a bee about it and you was like, that was you, not me, well, that wouldn't go very far.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, that's not make anything better. And that's at the essence of what we do at Moxie. We pride ourselves on the partnerships that we have here. And that's not just a buzzword. Like, that is a true word. I want every client that walks in our doors, whether they work with us on a logo project or we are working with them monthly on their marketing, I want them to feel like they are a partner. We are on the same team. Our goals are the same. And when we approach things that way, I think our clients can really feel that, and they know, okay, like, this is a team that is going to care about me. Because at the end of the day, if we don't care about our clients' businesses, then that basically means we don't care about ours.
Exactly.
And
Right.
that couldn't be further from the truth.
And I actually, so there was a potential client that's in my networking group, and he stood up and gave me a testimonial, and he was talking about, you know, why he wanted to work with Moxie. And then at the end of it, he was like, but ultimately the biggest reason that I want to work with Moxie is I want to work with Isabella because I know that she's going to care about my business almost as much as I do. And I thought that was so, like, to know that someone could see that from an outside perspective that I haven't, like, actually worked with was so cool.
That's your unique gift.
Yes, it's so nice. I love it. I love people, and I love being able to, like, help businesses. Like, that's my biggest thing. Like, I don't know. I then had another client that we did work with, and she was messaging me after about she was getting a window, like, sticker on her car, and we had done the design for it, and it was just completely messed up. And so I was, of course, like, okay, what did we do something wrong? So I come back, I address it with the designers. I'm like, what do you guys think we can do? And we're all like, kind of like, oh, I don't know what happened with it. And it ultimately, it was the people that did that put it on,
the printing,
the printing, But I texted her and I was like, here's the rundown. I'm telling her everything. I'm like, okay, send me an email to your main guy so I can meet in it, so I can talk to him too. And she was like, oh my gosh, Isabel, like, I'm so glad to, like, have you in my corner and have your team in my corner. The guy that's in my group said today, like, you really do, you care so much. And so that's just, that's so important.
Right. I mean, we could have said that wasn't our fault.
Right.
Let me know if it works out.
But it could.
Exactly.
But equally, it could have been our fault.
Right.
Right, exactly.
Oh my gosh, did we set the file up right? You know, but then again, they don't know what we know, so we can help them. Even like you gave her tools to what to say to them, or hey, we'll talk to them for you.
Yeah, and that's an example.
That's the extra step.
It's an example where we handed her the files, and then it was hers to do with it from there. We didn't work with the printer to get it printed, and which is something that we do, and we, it's a service that we provide for our clients. But in that case, she said, no, I'm going to handle it myself. And so we could have been like, well, you did it by yourself, so not your problem to fix. But that's just not. That's not how we are. That's not how we operate.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
2 thumbs up, Isabella.
4
gold stars. Gold stars.
Oh, wonderful. So to wrap this up, I would love to have each of us just kind of go around and maybe say what their favorite part of working on the client side is. 'Cause it's certainly not for everybody. It can be draining. It can be exhausting because you care so much. That can be really hard. So Isabella, you want to go first?
I think my favorite thing is the fact that, like, as someone who can appreciate, like, people who, like, go and start businesses and do all of that, to be able to be, like, a part of that with someone and business owners and make their life easier and make them represent their brand really well on social media. Like, that's probably my favorite part, to hear that they get so many compliments about their social media. They're reaching more people. That makes me so happy, because social media is not easy for everyone. It's not something that everyone can just do themselves, and it's a lot. So to be able to help someone and also be helping multiple businesses, that definitely makes me really happy. And of course, just like the relationships, like I said, are a really big plus to me. So just being able to work for, like, multiple different businesses almost is definitely what I love about it.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to learn about so many different businesses.
Yeah.
You're a hop expert now. You're going to become a car expert here soon.
Yeah.
So it's a really fun piece of what we get to do.
Yeah.
Kelly, you've been doing it for the longest.
Yeah.
And you haven't given it up yet.
Nope. Even though I've tried.
Yeah.
a few times. I think in a previous podcast, I said I really like helping people, and I think that's still true. I think I like knowing how to help them. Like sometimes when we're in a discovery meeting, I'm just like, yep, I know how to help you. You can
Yeah.
stop talking now. I know they need this.
Exactly.
They need that. They need that. You know what I mean? I just
It's-
kind of,
yeah.
the intuition of it. Of course, I love the process of doing it also. But, you know, I think ultimately helping people with their business, but also, you know, knowing how to help
Yeah.
them just makes me feel like I'm useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a gift. So be able to like take your kind of like gift per se and gift it to a client, like, and be able to help them and see everything from a bird's eye view. If you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and bring it all together. Like, that's just, it's rewarding. Yeah.
Right. The purpose of life is
Yeah.
to find your gift.
Yeah.
The meaning of life is to give it away.
Yes.
Wow.
So perfect. So fitting.
Oprah said it, but so did Pablo Picasso.
And now Kelly Kane.
Yes.
It's the second Oprah come up in an episode. So my response is going to be a little bit different, mainly because I would say the same things that you
I
guys
know,
are
right?
saying,
We're the
right?
same.
Right? But I think the piece that I love about my job so much and the role that I play here at Moxie is being that bridge between our clients and our team. I love the stuff that happens in the middle, everything that needs to happen to get what our clients need to our creative team to make happen. I love that. Like
Figuring out
making,
the
yeah,
strategy.
like,
Yeah.
and just being able to sit and say, okay, we do this, and sit in by myself or sit with you. I mean, for example, Kelly, last week you and I sat down for an hour and a half just back and forth writing some little stories for labels, and that piece is so fun for me, and that is part of the client experience as a whole, because it was taking some feedback from our client and then needing
Collaboration.
to get stuff to our team. Yeah, maybe that's
finding
that's
a
what it is. It's
solution
the
for them.
Yeah, that collaboration piece, but it's not always the front-facing piece. It's not the piece that people always see. It's the things that are happening behind the scenes, and I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I think we had similar answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just said all differently, but in short, we have the best jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's us.
What'd you say in a different episode, that even if we didn't get paid for it, we'd still do it?
Yeah, that's your passion.
Passion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're out there listening and you are part of providing a client experience, or you are someone who owns a business and you're looking for a stronger client experience, know that how you show up or how someone shows up for you starts in the very beginning. It's about how you make someone feel, or how someone makes you feel every step of the way. So if you want to earn more referrals, build loyalty, create lasting relationships, I think there are a few things that you can ask yourself. So where in your process can you make things feel easier for your clients? How can you foster more personal connection throughout the whole client experience journey? And what can you do to make each touch point feel just a little bit more meaningful? Because at the end of the day, good service is what's expected, but a great experience is what keeps people coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Behind the Brand. If you liked this episode, share it with a friend. If you didn't, share it with an enemy. To keep up with us, follow along on our socials. Links are in the show notes below.